Friday, June 12th, 2026. Today's world news headline summary. 1. CNN. 1. 미국과 이란, 이틀 연속 보복 공방 및 호르무즈 해협 긴장. The United States and Iran have engaged in a second consecutive night of retaliatory military strikes. The U.S. Central Command targeted Iranian military sites, while Iran launched attacks on U.S. bases in the region. Amid the escalation, Iran announced the closure of the Strait of Hormuz to all commercial vessels. This conflict has significantly impacted the economy, driving U.S. inflation up to 4.2% due to soaring energy costs. Despite the violence, diplomatic sources report that talks to reach a ceasefire deal are still ongoing. Iran's unwarranted and continued aggression was cited as the reason for the U.S. response. Vocabulary. Consecutive. Adjective. 연속적인. It rained for 5 consecutive days. Retaliatory. Adjective. 보복적인. The military launched retaliatory strikes. Target. Verb. 표적으로 삼다. The campaign targets young voters. Escalation. Noun. 고조, 단계적 확대. The escalation of the conflict worries the UN. Closure. Noun. 폐쇄. The closure of the factory led to job losses. Inflation. Noun. 물가 상승, inflation. High inflation reduces consumer purchasing power. Soar. Verb. 치솟다, 급등하다. Property prices have soared in the capital. Ongoing. Adjective. 진행 중인. There is an ongoing investigation into the matter. 시사용어 해설. Strait of Hormuz, 호르무즈 해협. 중동의 주요 산유국들이 원유를 수출할 때 반드시 지나야 하는 바닷길입니다. 이곳이 막히면 전 세계 석유 공급에 큰 차질이 생겨 경제에 악영향을 줍니다. 2. BBC 2-1 북아일랜드 벨파스트 반이민 폭력 시위 확산. Northern Ireland is experiencing a second night of severe rioting and unrest in Belfast. The violence was initially sparked by a serious knife attack, but has escalated into large anti-immigration protests. Police were forced to deploy water cannons to disperse the hostile crowds. During the intense clashes, 12 police officers were injured and 16 people were arrested. The UK government expressed deep concern over the growing sense of fear among ethnic minority communities in the region. Officials pleaded with the public not to use the tragic incident to fuel further hostility. Vocabulary. Riot. Noun, verb. 폭동. 폭동을 일으키다. Riots broke out in the city center. Unrest. Noun. 소요. 불안. Social unrest has been growing in the region. Spark. Verb. 촉발시키다. The incident sparked widespread outrage. Deploy. Verb. 군대, 무기를 배치하다. The general decided to deploy more troops. Disperse. Verb. 해산시키다. Police used tear gas to disperse the crowd. Hostile. Adjective. 적대적인. The crowd was highly hostile toward the speaker. Ethnic minority. Noun phrase. 소수민족. The law aims to protect ethnic minorities. Hostility. Noun. 적의, 적대감. They showed open hostility to the new policy.
Number 3. ABC Australia. Number 3. 1. 호주인들, 팬데믹 때보다 현재 더 큰 불만족 느껴. A new national survey reveals that Australians actually felt a greater sense of life satisfaction during the pandemic lockdowns than they do today. This surprising decline in happiness is primarily driven by increasing financial stresses and the high cost of living. In 2025, more than 1 in 5 households reported being unable to raise $2,000 for an emergency within a week. Furthermore, real wages are currently lower than they were in 2020, putting significant financial pressure on citizens. Economists note that this severe economic strain effectively overshadows the freedom gained from lifted restrictions. Many people are forced to dip into savings or take on debt to manage basic cash flow. Vocabulary. Reveal. Verb. 밝히다. 드러내다. The report reveals the truth about the event. Satisfaction. Noun. 만족감. She found great satisfaction in helping others. Decline. Noun. Verb. 감소. 하락. 감소하다. There has been a steady decline in sales. Primarily. Adverb. 주로. The disease affects primarily older people. Emergency. Noun. 비상사태. Please exit the building in case of an emergency. Strain. Noun. 부담. 중압감. The pandemic put a huge strain on hospitals. Overshadow. Verb. 무색하게 만들다. 그늘을 드리우다. His mistakes overshadowed his past achievements. Dip into. Phrasal verb. 저축 등을 축내다. 꺼내 쓰다. I had to dip into my savings to fix my car.
4. The Korea Times. 4.1. 한국 5월 취업자 4만 명 감소. 17개월 만에 첫 하락. South Korea experienced a concerning decline in employment, losing 40,000 jobs in May. This recent downturn marks the first drop in the nation's job numbers in 17 months. The shrinking job market reflects broader economic challenges and domestic uncertainties. However, the employment slump contrasts sharply with the country's trade performance. South Korea's exports saw a massive 86% increase in the first 10 days of June, setting a new record high. Policymakers are now carefully analyzing these mixed economic signals to address the struggling labor sector. Vocabulary. Employment. Noun. 고용, 취업. The government aims to boost employment. Downturn. Noun. 경제 등의 침체, 하락. The auto industry suffered a severe downturn. Shrink. Verb. 줄어들다, 위축되다. The company's profits shrank by 20%. Reflect. Verb. 반영하다. Her paintings reflect her love of nature. Domestic. Adjective. 국내, 가정에. The domestic market is growing slowly. Contrast. Verb. Noun. 대조되다. 차이, 대조. His actions contrast sharply with his promises. Massive. Adjective. 거대한, 엄청난. They made a massive investment in new tech. Policymaker. Noun. 정책 입안자. Policymakers are meeting to discuss the crisis. 5. The Korea Herald, 5-1. 2026 북중미 World Cup Mexico is 개막. The 2026 FIFA World Cup has officially kicked off, marking the largest tournament in football history. This massive event features an expanded roster of 48 teams competing in 104 matches. The global competition is being jointly hosted by 3 nations, the United States, Canada, and Mexico. Mexico proudly hosted the tournament's opening match on June 11 in Mexico City. Meanwhile, South Korean President Lee Jae-myung, currently on a European trip, sent a supportive message to the national team ahead of their first group stage match. Football fans around the world are eagerly anticipating the month-long sporting festival. Vocabulary. Officially. Adverb. 공식적으로. The results will be officially announced tomorrow. Tournament. Noun. tournament. 대회. She won the tennis tournament last year. Feature, verb, 특징으로 삼다, 포함하다. The new movie features famous actors. Expanded, adjective, 확대된, 확장된. The hospital opened an expanded emergency room. Jointly, adverb, 공동으로. The project was jointly funded by 2 companies. Supportive, adjective, 지원하는, 도와주는. He has a very supportive family. Anticipate, verb, 고대하다, 예상하다. We anticipate a large crowd at the concert. Festival, noun, 축제. The city holds a music festival every summer.
CGTN 6-1. 베이징에서 2026 글로벌 인권 거버넌스 포럼 개막. The 2026 Forum on Global Human Rights Governance has officially commenced in Beijing, attracting an international audience. Hundreds of officials, experts, and delegates from over 100 countries gathered to discuss human rights development. The forum's primary focus is on advancing human rights through modernization and sustainable economic development. During the event, China released its new National Human Rights Action Plan for 2026 to 2030. This strategic document outlines the country's dedicated efforts to protect basic human rights over the next 5 years. Participants strongly emphasized the need for global cooperation and solidarity in addressing shared human rights challenges. Vocabulary. Commence. Verb. 시작되다, 개시하다. The graduation ceremony will commence at 10 a.m. Delegate. Noun. 대표자. Delegates from 50 countries attended the meeting. Primary. Adjective. 주된, 주요한. His primary focus is on improving education. Modernization. Noun. 현대화. The country needs rapid modernization. Outline. Verb. 계율을 서술하다. The manager outlined the plan to the team. Dedicated. Adjective. 헌신적인, 전념하는. She is dedicated to protecting the environment. Solidarity. Noun. 연대, 결속. The workers showed solidarity during the strike. Address. Verb. 문제를 다루다, 해결하다. We need to address the issue of climate change. 7. NHK World Japan 7-1. 미군의 유조선 타격으로 인도인 선원 3명 사망. 3 Indian crew members were tragically killed following a United States military strike on a commercial tanker. This fatal incident occurred off the coast of Oman amidst rapidly escalating military tensions in the Middle East. The Indian government has strongly condemned the attack that resulted in civilian casualties. Officials in New Delhi immediately summoned a top U.S. diplomat to lodge a formal and robust protest. Indian authorities expressed deep concern over the safety and well-being of their large seafaring community working in the region. The event highlights the growing operational risks to international shipping routes during geopolitical conflicts. Vocabulary. Tragically. Adverb. 비극적으로. Tragically, the driver died in the crash. Fatal. Adjective. 치명적인, 죽음을 초래하는. He suffered a fatal injury during the race. Casualty. Noun. 사상자, 피해자. There were heavy casualties on both sides. Summon. Verb. 호출하다, 초치하다. The king summoned his advisors to the palace. Lodge. Verb. 불만, 항의 등을 제기하다. She lodged a formal complaint against him. Robust. Adjective. 튼튼한, 단호한. The company needs a robust marketing strategy. Operational. Adjective. 운영상에, 작전에. The factory is fully operational again. Geopolitical. Adjective. 지정학적인. The war has changed the geopolitical landscape. 8. AlJazeera.com 8.1. 멕시코 2026 월드컵 개막전서 남아공의 2-0 승리. Mexico secured a comfortable 2-0 victory against South Africa in the opening match of the 2026 World Cup. Forward Julian Quiñones scored the tournament's first goal just 9 minutes into the game, thrilling the home crowd. Veteran striker Raúl Jiménez successfully added a second goal with a powerful header in the second half.
The match proved to be highly eventful and chaotic, featuring 3 red cards issued by the Brazilian referee. South Africa struggled heavily and finished the game with only 9 players on the pitch. Mexico's strong start sets a highly positive tone for the passionate co-hosts of the global tournament. Vocabulary. Secure. Verb. 확보하다, 획득하다. He secured a new job at the bank. Victory. Noun. 승리. The team celebrated their great victory. Thrill. Verb. 열광시키다, 흥분시키다. The roller coaster thrilled the children. Veteran. Noun. Adjective. 베테랑, 노련한. She is a veteran teacher with 20 years of experience. Eventful. Adjective. 다사다난한. We had a very eventful trip to Europe. Chaotic. Adjective. 혼란스러운. The traffic in the city center is always chaotic. Pitch. Noun. 축구 등의 경기장. The players ran onto the pitch. Passionate. Adjective. 열정적인. He is a passionate supporter of human rights.
Number 9. CBC Canada. Number 9. 1. 캐나다 정부 해외 진출 기업 감시하는 인권조사관 직책 폐지. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney announced the elimination of a federal watchdog responsible for investigating Canadian companies operating abroad. The Canadian Ombudsperson for Responsible Enterprise, CORE, was originally created to probe potential human rights abuses, such as forced labor. Critics have long argued that the office lacked the necessary legal teeth to be genuinely effective. Without the power to compel documents or testimony, the watchdog only managed to launch 5 investigations overall. The controversial decision comes as Canada navigates complex trade tensions regarding forced labor in global supply chains. Vocabulary. Elimination. Noun. 제거. 폐지. The elimination of poverty is a global goal. Probe. Verb. 조사하다. 캐묻다. Police are probing the cause of the fire. Abuse. Noun. 남용. 침해. 학대. The charity protects children from abuse. Critic. Noun. 비평가. 비판하는 사람. Critics praised the new film highly. Compel. Verb. 강제하다. 억지로 하게 하다. The law can compel witnesses to testify. Testimony. Noun. 증언. Her testimony proved his innocence. Controversial. Adjective. 논란이 많은. The new tax law is highly controversial. Navigate. Verb. 복잡한 상황을 다루다. 길을 찾다. He successfully navigated the difficult negotiation. 시사용어 해설. Watchdog. 감시기구, 감시자. 개가 집을 지키듯 정부나 기업이 불법적이거나 비윤리적인 행동을 하지 않도록 감시하고 견제하는 기관이나 단체를 뜻합니다. 10. DD India. 10.1. 인도. 중동 해상 공격 관련해 미국의 강력 항의. India has officially summoned a U.S. diplomat to register a strong protest regarding recent military attacks on commercial ships in West Asia. The Indian Ministry of External Affairs expressed deep concern after 3 Indian nationals tragically died in a strike off the coast of Oman. The government emphasized the critical importance of ensuring the absolute safety of its large seafaring community. India firmly called for uninterrupted access through the Strait of Hormuz and strict adherence to international maritime law. Officials consistently urged that diplomacy and peaceful dialogue are the only viable ways to resolve the ongoing regional conflict. Vocabulary. Register. Verb. 견해 등을 공식적으로 표명하다. I wish to register a formal complaint. Critical. Adjective. 대단히 중요한, 비판적인. Clean water is critical for survival. Absolute. Adjective. 절대적인, 완전한. I have absolute faith in her abilities. Uninterrupted. Adjective. 방해받지 않는, 끊임없는. He spoke for an hour of uninterrupted time. Strict. Adjective. 엄격한. The school has strict rules about uniforms. Adherence. Noun. 준수, 고수. Strict adherence to the law is required. Viable. Adjective. 실행 가능한.
Renewable energy is a viable alternative. Resolve. Verb. 해결하다. They met to resolve their differences. 시사용어 해설. Middle East escalation. 중동 긴장 고조. 미국과 이란의 보복 공방으로 인해 전 세계 안보와 경제, 물가, 유가가 흔들리고 있습니다. Economic strain. 경제적 부담. 미국의 인플레이션 급등, 호주인들의 생활비 스트레스 등 전 세계 평범한 가정들이 물가 상승으로 어려움을 겪고 있습니다. World Cup 2026. 2026 북중미 월드컵. 전 세계의 축구 축제가 개막하며 팍팍한 국제 정세 속에서도 세계인이 화합하고 열광하는 계기가 되고 있습니다.